I wasn't gonna come on here, but I changed my mind last minute. I said, you know what? My people on my live have not done anything to me, and I owe it to you guys to at least minimum give you a proper farewell goodbye to my YouTube, my TikTok channel. So as of next week, I'm going to be exclusively on YouTube. But in the meantime, in between time, I figure I'll do my last live on here and just tell you guys why I'm switching from TikTok over to YouTube. There are several reasons. I put most of the reasons on my page already, if you guys haven't checked it. Oh, sorry for jumping right in. Hi guys, my name is Nico Nicole, and this is Pretty Politico. I go through weekly highlights, election highlights. I like to call it pop politics. So we go over anything related to the things that were going on in an election, currently what's going on with the transition of power, and anything that I think is something that all of us should know. I do present information to you in a bipartisan way. I have jokes, y'all. I got jokes. So if you sensitive, you gotta go, because I talk about things on both sides. I talk stuff about Trump, and I was talking stuff about Cam when she was running as well. So we have fun on this page, and if you guys are into pop culture and politics and wanting to meld that together, this is the place for you. So each week I go over my notes with my handy dandy notebook, aka we'll get to that, aka my iPad. It used to actually be a notebook when I first started, but you know, we got civilized lately. So yeah, this will be my last live on TikTok, and the reason being is because TikTok is racist, and I'm sure this is gonna get blocked now too. And you can't say black, you can't say woman, you can't say white, you can't say anything related to anything on here, because I don't know what happened with that the legal battle with TikTok and the USA, but ever since then TikTok has been like mum's the word. You can't really have fun on here like you used to have fun. So I'm often I get violations and flags, because like I said, I have jokes. So the fact that I can't have jokes, I'm going over to YouTube. And also, a lot of the videos that I post on here in relation to black women, they get 10 views, 14 views, and I'm not with that. Whereas if I post something about Trump, it's automatic 200 views. Like, that's a minimum plus. So that disparity, I don't like that. I want things to be fair and even. And on YouTube, the same videos that I post on here, that I post on my YouTube page, they go viral. Like I was telling you guys in my last post, I have one video on here that has 15 views. It has 2,500 views on YouTube. So, and this is not just for me, this is for you guys too. If you guys are thinking about creating a page or thinking about getting active on TikTok, I personally, it depends on your style. Like I don't mind doing lives. I'm a live girl, so TikTok might be for you, because I do love lives too. But if you're not a live person and you're okay with pre-recorded videos and things like that, and YouTube has live, it's just not as jazzy as TikTok's live, you know. But if you're okay with just like standard basic, then YouTube would be for you. I feel like you grow there better, and also you're allowed to build community. Like right now, all y'all new. I ain't never seen none of y'all names before. On my YouTube, it's the same people every week commenting, loving on me, supporting on me. And I only got 10 followers over there, but I have another page, Give This Girl a Mic, where I posted one video. I had 84 followers, and I posted this video about Kanye West and like this video he made back in 2004. That video has 640,000 views, and I went from 80 followers to I'm 700 plus followers in a matter of 2 weeks. Like, that's insane. And I'm sure it's going to just keep growing. And I don't even have to do anything. And every time I post a new video that is, like, unrelated to Kanye or unrelated to anything, I don't require an algorithm, because they're already subscribed to me. So when I post my content, those 700 people are just automatically looking for my content because they already bought in by subscribing. Whereas here, you follow somebody, I swear I'll never see them again. The other day, I cleaned out my follower list. And ever since, I've been seeing all my favorite content creators. I'm like, where y'all been? But as soon as you subscribe to them on here or follow, they disappear. YouTube is not like that. If you subscribe on YouTube, they're going to keep feeding those people your information. So it's like you really get to know the names, you get to know the people, you get to build this beautiful, loving, caring community who's got on like, you go girl, and I'm like, y'all know me? Oh, sorry. You know, it's just nice. So because of that hospitality, and maybe it's just my personality fits more with the YouTube thing. Maybe you don't like the same people coming back again and again. I do. But if you're into that, culture, I would recommend you go to YouTube, because you don't have to think about, do these people like me? Is it gonna fit in the algorithm? If they're subscribed to you, they already like you, and you don't have to fight for it. So I'm a lover, not a fighter. So let's get into what we do here. So each week we do weekly political highlights, and y'all know it's been fun. We're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna talk about Tyson and how that relates to politics. Oh, it's gonna be a good time. All right, first things first, and you guys saw that little weird meme. This is so important, and this is political, meaning if you don't do it, you're behind going to jail. But it's also not political. So I'm going to let you guys read that, because I can't read it from here. So I think it says, for those that have an LLC or corporation that was set up before January 1st, 2024, you have until the end of the year to file your beneficial ownership information report, or you will face up to 2 years in prison and a fine up to $10,000. I already did mine. I hope y'all did yours. So I do own an LLC, and I don't even make no money off of it. I just sell little t-shirts on Etsy, and I just like kind of use it because you know how I don't want my name on these websites, on these social media pages. So I created LLC so that I wouldn't have to use my name. Now this thing that I filled out is called the Beneficial Ownership Information Report, and I'm going over this first because it's not politics, but it's very important because you guys can go to jail if y'all don't do it, and it takes 10 minutes to do. So I don't want to hear next year, and Trump, y'all already know Trump ain't playing. He already do his little weekly briefings, which we're going to talk about. He did them on the transgenders already. He did them on education already. He did them on one other thing. Was it economics? He already did a whole briefing, honey. So Trump is not playing out here in these streets. So y'all don't think this is going to be a thing? They're going to be arresting y'all. They already talking about mass, like taking all the migrants and like throwing them in van. Like they have a plan, and they're not playing with us. So I would suggest, if you guys haven't already done your beneficial ownership information report, you do it right now. You just go to the government website, you type in your information, you give them your LLC, because what it seems like they want to do is, if you know your LLC, yes, it has your name, but it doesn't necessarily be linked to you in that capacity. It's like a little bit linked to you. It could be linked to another corporation. This wants it linked to a human being. It's basically like, who are you? What's your name? What's your mama name, your daddy name, your cousin name? And then it says, are you sure? And then it asks you to give that information again. So it's essentially making sure that every business in America is linked to a person. And I'm assuming they're doing that just in case they want to tax the person in the future, to make sure that these businesses are not scam out of the country businesses, and that these are all legitimate American businesses or people with visas, working visas here in the States. I'm kind of rocking with it a little bit. I don't mind providing proof of citizenship and things like that, because I really play by the book. I play by the rules. So if you don't play by the rules, you might end up like the little meme. So be careful out there and make sure you do it. I'm going to name it again. It's called the Beneficial Ownership Information Report. So now that that's out of the way, I really, really want you guys to do that. So important. Okay, so first thing first, so I come on weekly, so I do have some news from last week and news from this week. So the news from last week, it was getting messy. It was like the election's over. He done won. I told y'all, black women, we over here rest, because I was in 92. If you were wondering, I did vote for Kim. Y'all can go if y'all hate me. It's fine, it's fine. I've been hated by better. So basically, his wife is now on Russian TV, pulling up there playing with this man. I could not believe that. Never in a million years would I think that he would allow that on his like news outlets, and the news anchors are like laughing at the girl, and they're just like, this is your king, this is your king, and this is his wife. Like, this is what y'all doing in America. And I was so shocked that they had her draped in fur, baby. She was looking like a, you know, like them old 70s cat women. She just had the fur on, and that's what they had on the Russian TV. And this is like the day after Trump was elected. They playing around in his face. So I don't know what made him do that. It like poking the bear. But this is going to be interesting. Y'all get y'all tea. Y'all get y'all popcorn. Because this ain't got nothing to do with us. This the rich people who war. So we about to be watching these rich people. And they going to be battling like in ways we haven't seen since probably Reagan. Like, it's going to be real. Okay, another thing that was going on was, I don't know if you guys heard this, but I didn't hear this at all. There was a mass, I don't know if you could say that word, but there was a mass pew-pew at Tuskegee University in Alabama. And it was a black kid that did it. Now, you know they're lying. We don't do stuff like that. But I guess it's black on black, because, like, I mean, mostly Tuskegee is like a HBCU, and you know the whole syphilis scandal of it. But I thought that was really interesting. Now, we haven't heard about Tuskegee since the airmen, and then the day after he get in, there's this, the first of my knowledge, a young person shooting up a school, a pew-pewing up a school that's black. Y'all know that's a lie. But that's what happened. So he did it. And they arrested him, and yeah, but I had never seen that before because we don't really do that kind of stuff. So that seemed a little shady. And then it was like these, I think it's this thing where they want to present like there's no longer black and white, because I told y'all in my last life, this election is this proved that race is the least of our worries. It's about economy now. So it's no longer about black and white. It's about the haves and the have-nots. And I think that's what the pew-pewing at the school, the Tuskegee black kid doing this at a black school, meant to me. Because it was like you have these officers that clearly voted for Donald Trump, like obviously voted for, they were in that 10% of black men, or 20%. They voted for him, and they were like, you know, sheriffs, and they were like in their blue lives matter bag. Like, and it was interesting to see. And I've also noted it in media as well. So if you watch these commercials lately, like I saw one about an alien, and it was a black man and a white man, and they were in the middle of the woods. Think about it. It was an alien, but that's really an illegal alien. So it was an alien, and it was a white man and a black man in the middle of the woods, and they were threatening the alien because the alien ate their Tostino pizza rolls. It was so stupid. And they were basically, it felt mob-like. It felt like they were basically like, you better give us our Tostinos back, or we gonna jack up your spaceship. It was supposed to be funny and lighthearted, but it wasn't. It was basically saying black Americans and black poor Americans and black poor white weepos are on the same page, and they are against the aliens, illegal aliens. It was very obvious, and that's the rhetoric that's going on now. And so that's the message that's going to continue to be the messaging. And you're going to see that all the time now. No longer about black and white, because now the dumb black and the dumb white, the dumber and dumber, they're together. And they're going against the Mexicans. That's the vibe. Because now even black Americans, they're not calling themselves African Americans no more. They're not calling themselves black Americans. You know the new name for us? Foundational Black Americans. That's what they're calling themselves now. So they're the new black Americans, or the old one, I don't know who these people are, but they're detaching themselves from Africa completely. They're detaching themselves from the ideology of the migrant mentality, of the immigrant mentality. They want to be foundational here. They are foundational black Americans, and there's going to be that huge shift, and the foundational black Americans are now going to be accepted by the WIPO Americans of the South. That's what you're going to see. But as we know with history, it never happens. Because once they clean that house, they're going to come cleaning that house. And that's just the bottom line. It reminds me of when I was dating a football player, and he went to, y'all know Marshall University? Remember that school? We Are Marshall. They had a movie about it and all that. And when I went down there, I would fly in through the airport, and I would always take a taxi to his, because we were young. We didn't have cars like that. I would take a taxi to his dorm. So from the airport, I remember one time the guy came over or whatever, and he was like, hello. He's like, can I actually, I ain't had dreadlocks. I had my curly hair, my natural hair, which is really curly. So he was like, and so I looked racially ambiguous. He wasn't actually able to see like what I was. So he's like, can I ask you a question? And I said, sure. He said, is you Spanish or is you black? And I said, oh, sir, you know, I'm black. He said, oh, good, because I can't stand no Spanish. And I said, well, I'm in Virginia now. So I said, oh, okay. And my mom came, I told her about it. She was like, you know, if you would have said Spanish, she would have been like, oh, I can't stand them Negroes. And that's just the bottom line. That's where we are right now. Like, at the end of the day, the foundational blacks can't stand them Mexicans. And that's the sadness of it. But it's the truth of the matter. Because it's only a matter of time, because history always repeats itself, that we go from being together like the Frederick Douglass of it all, right? The W.E.B. Du Bois of it all, to not welcomed. But I digress. So, well, I digress for now because I'm coming back to that. But that Tuskegee mass shooting really opened my eyes to, okay, I see the play here. I see the play. Well played. Okay, so now I said on 11/11, no news coverage video. I saw, Bernie Sanders. So Bernie Sanders, he is the longest standing senator in history, and he is peeled. He's mad at y'all. So he said that Democrats abandoning the working class, and now the working class are abandoning them. Bar. Don't y'all agree? Like, I personally agree with Bernie Sanders so much with that, because I feel like the party was more worried about Megan twerking. I hated that. I still hate it. I hated that. And Cardi B, I think that was that was it. When she couldn't read the script, it was a mess. And I have a video on my page, and I empathize for her, because she said, you know, she grew up in an immigrant family and she didn't have language and skills, and so she's like really insecure when it comes to her speaking voice and things like that. So I get it, but it was really hard to watch as a person who is trying to support that candidate. Like, this is your king. Like, this is who you have representing me as a minority woman. Like, this is who you have. She does not represent me. I'm sorry, Cardi do not represent me, and I love Cardi. Be careful with me. Don't know what you're doing, but I want to listen to her. I don't want her to. I don't need her on my stages. And I think they need to get more sophisticated when it comes to their policy, because you're not dealing with kids. You're dealing with people's lives and their children and their livelihood. Let's even speaking around, and I'm jumping around, but Trump last night, today, or was it last night? Recent. He was talking about the whole transgender of it all. Oh, that's a whole hot topic right there. Trump basically said, you're going to start, and I agree with him when it comes to this, y'all. He said, you're going to not talk about being born. He's like, no, if any teacher in the school system suggests that a child was born in the wrong body, immediately fired. I agree with that. And that's what Kamala should have been fighting against. She never mentioned it. And that's the crazy thing, because Trump ran like a $2-3 million campaign on Kamala supporting trans rights. And she never once mentioned trans rights. But she should have. She should have made a stance on how she feels about this. Because if she's not a mom, though. But if she was a mom, she would know the teachers, the school system have no right to decide what my child is going to be. Oh yeah, I'm about to get into it, Michael. Let me allow that one, because they said don't allow. Approved comment. You heard what Michael said. They are about to punish them. They said, so he said what he's going to do is only genders that will be assigned in America are male and female genders at birth. You cannot change and participate in a female sport if you are born male. If your birth, you can be whatever you want when you're grown up. He don't care about that. He's talking about the children. He said you're not going to touch no children in America. He said if you as a man in high school want to play in a female sport, you're out of here and you going to jail. And I agree with that, because I don't think that no matter what, a woman can be as strong as a man. Maybe we can run faster, and maybe we can be, do the jolts and things like that. But in terms of like wrestling, MMA, and these aggressive sports where they're pinning these girls down and they don't even stand a chance, it's wrong. And I personally, even though I was voting for Kamala, I never agree with that. I never agree with that transgender stuff when it comes to you doing that to a child. Look at Jazz. Y'all remember Jazz from TLC? She had so much depressive episodes and regret on what happened to her. And she is so mad at her parents for doing that to her. And not only did they do that to Jazz, they put her on national television to be brutalized and picked on when she was only 16, 17. They had kissing boys on national TV. And turn her whole body, and she's so depressed. She's morbidly obese right now, y'all. The girl Jazz from TLC, because she's so depressed. And her parents kept pushing it and pushing it. She said, I didn't even know what was going on. I just thought it was fun to be on TV. And now I'm having all these complications with my body. She's like, I would give up anything to have my original body back. And that's how I feel about it. I feel like we are manipulating children, and I don't care what you do with your body after 18. But to mutilate a child's body, right on to that. I'm with him on that. And then he talked about, and then I wanted to give y'all both sides. Y'all know I like both sides. So transgender senator, she's the first transgender senator. Her name is Sarah McBride. She said that she thinks that they're going too far with the transgender thing and that they have more important things to worry about, like the economy. Child, please. My child come first. Because at the end of the day, my child, it's still going to affect my pockets if I got to do all these surgeries for my child. You got to pay something out of pocket. I know they have insurance that funds it, but at a certain cap, you still have to. And that's another thing he was saying. He was like, with that, the amount of like difficulties and post surgeries that these kids have to do is basically child mutilation. And I agree. Oh yeah, so that was actually, I fact checked that one. She never talked about it. She never talked about it. So you know who talked about it? Tim Walz. It was the big transgender proponent, which is why people said she should have went for Shapiro. Because Shapiro, you know, he's more moderate. He's in that middle ground. And they said Shapiro's the reason she didn't win an election because Tim Walz was too to the left. And Bernie Sanders is agreeing with that. He was basically saying, like, all those topics, he said he doesn't think Democrats know who they're fighting for anymore. Because the loudest people in their ears are the people with the money. And the people with the money are the big, conglomerate companies that are supporting their agendas, that want more edophilia. That's how I feel. I feel like it's all leading to the same road of edophilia. And I ain't with that at all. And I think they want to make it easy on us for them to do that, because if you already mutilated your body, like there's a YouTuber, I can't remember her name, Nikki Dragon, she's into that X work now, because, and this page is not about that. I have another page where I talk that little, talk, but she's so far gone that she doesn't care about her body. She was born as a man. She did so much mutilation to her body that people are now mutilating her body in that lifestyle, and she doesn't care. Because there's no soul, no, there's nothing attached to it anymore. And I think when you go that far and they starting younger and younger, it creates this disconnect from the soledad, the soul of who you are. And that's what I don't like about it, because it's teaching your kids something's wrong with me. I have to fix it at this young age. But we're going to move on. Okay, back to Bernie. He said that all the wealth right now is happening at the 1% level. And it's creating financial anxiety amongst Americans. And that's what Kamala should have continued to focus on. Financial anxiety. Because Trump, his whole thing was, there's a problem, I can fix it. You know there's a problem, and we'll do it together. And that's why he was able to win. Because he created this trust with the American people to say, I see you. I love you. I got you. And I told y'all that. Didn't I tell y'all that in the previous? Y'all go back to my first post. I think my first or second post. I talk about that. And I said that Trump reminds me of those old uncles that might be a little drunk, you know what I'm saying? But he sometimes when he talks, he be talking that talk. Y'all know them uncles. Everybody got that uncle. And then I said the American people are more familiar with him. So that's why I created a bipartisan page, because I saw everybody going straight to the left, straight to the right. Everybody's like, rah. And I said, no. We're not going to do that over here. We are going to be a bipartisan page, and I'm going to create some kind of balance, because I didn't want my people who are supporting me on this page to go too far off the bridge, whereas if he did win, we all depressed and sad. I told y'all, I had a feeling he was going to win. And I said the reason he was going to win because we're familiar with him. We didn't know Cam. And I liked who she represent me. Like I'm not a sorority girl. I'm a brother sorority girl. A fraternity boy. I pledged a sorority. I didn't do it. I dropped out. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a loser. And but I'm just too strong for it. I can't be no follower. I'm sorry. But I did do that, and I graduated college. I'm one of the educated ones and things like that. So on surface, on paper, I do relate to Kamala a lot, and I can see the fight she wanted. But I also told you guys, nobody knew her. If she had a year to campaign, maybe, but in 3-4 months, nobody knows you. You don't tell us anything about you. Every time you get on the podcast, you're talking disingenuous. You're not telling us where you come from, who's your family, where you come from, who are you? Because y'all know I know. So she basically grew up in LA. We ain't got to talk about it. She went to Canada. She stayed in Canada until she was dang near grown, and then she came back for college. She wasn't even raised here in America like that. She did a little stint when she was a kid in LA, but they left for research. Her mom had research up in Canada. So with knowing all that stuff, it was hard for me to see how she would connect to the Black American people, one, which she did. She did a good job. But I think we always push. We push to see the change in the world, right? That's just our nature. But then I knew she wouldn't tap into that middle class America, because if you guys look at the vote before, white women already was voting for Trump. They voted for him more last time than they did this time. So I don't know why everybody mad at him. They've been doing this. They voted for him in 2016 the most. They voted for him in 2020 even more. And then they voted for him at a steady pace in 2024. So it was consistent how white women have voted. The thing that changed the game was the Latino men. That one came out like skirt. That's why people didn't expect it. So, and then, you have that leaning towards Latino women supporting their men. And that's what they didn't prepare for, because they thought they had the Latinos in the bag. They weren't even worried about them because they have AOC. But then we're going to talk about that, the AOC Trumper. So AOC is on this research right now to see why. Here it goes. AOC Trumper. She said she lost people to the couch because there is this big uptick in New York City where the majority of people Latinos who voted for Trump in New York City also voted for AOC to be in Senate on the same ticket ballot. And people are like, what are these AOC Trumpers? Now I did research. This is a really, really historical election, y'all. Oh, by the way, I have a degree in political science and sociology. So I'm just not new to this. I'm actually true to this. And I love this. I talk about politics the way I talk about my sports team. So we go for that here. I heard about the genders to change all, and the Amish. Something about the Amish. So the Amish, something's going on with that. I've been seeing so many ads about the Amish. And I think the reason we're seeing so many ads about the Amish is because people want to go back to natural foods and farming. And I don't know about the prison and Amish thing. You got to tell me about that. But I know I've been seeing a lot of agenda for the Amish. But me personally, I'm a conspiracy theorist. So I think it's kind of gearing my mind up, because it's on my algorithm, to be comfortable with that Handmaid's Tale life. Because I've been seeing Amish cooking, cheese with cheesecloth. I've been seeing them having no refrigeration for 50 years. Like, these are all my videos that are in my algorithm right now. I'm like, what is going on with the Amish? Why am I seeing so much Amish stuff? But neither here nor there. Back to AOC. So AOC, she was on Joy Reid, and she was really confused. Like, I don't understand why I see my people, but I don't see my people. Why are they voting for me and Trump? And she said they voted blue, but they didn't vote for the rest of the blue ticket. So she said there was a universal split ticket, and she believes the frustration comes from corporate Instagram billionaires that are flaunting their lifestyles and not investing in the working American people. So her and Bernie Sanders stand alike. And that would have been a cool ticket to see Bernie Sanders as like Democratic, and if he was like a little bit younger, and then AOC as like maybe VP. I have a feeling, I don't know if yet, because I don't think coming off the heels of Trump, there's ever going to be a woman. But I just have this feeling that AOC is going to put her ticket in. I just have it. Like, the way she's moving, she's been on all these interviews. She's been talking about the AOC. I feel like she's going to be the next Democratic candidate. At least in the running. Like, kind of how Cory Booker went at it a little bit. I don't know if she'll surpass what Cory Booker did. But I feel like she's like on her way to do something. I'm not surprised at that, because the Republican Party was created by Abraham Lincoln essentially to counteract to free the slaves so he could have more people for his Civil War. So that would make sense to me, that because the Democratic Party weren't really rocking with black folks at all until later, around, I would even say, mostly like Clinton years. Like, it's fairly new that we're like super, maybe JFK. All right, so let's go back. So I have Bernie Sanders. We talked a little bit about that. Trump talking about corporate greed himself and how he's gonna, it sounds like Trump is giving these companies tax breaks so he can work on decrease, like the trickle down effect. Y'all know that don't work. Bernie doesn't agree with, Sotomayor, I think I told y'all about that. She's thinking about stepping down, but Bernie Sanders does not agree that she should step down. I work in higher education, so free college for all Americans never, ever, ever, ever gonna happen. It's just too much money in the business, especially for private colleges and things like that. It's one of those things that it really upholds the institutions of America. What I think is gonna happen is, I think they are going to make colleges more exclusive, and I think they're gonna eliminate financial aid altogether, because that's my sector, financial aid. So I think they're going to get rid of that completely, because there's so much red tape when you have to, like last year, do you remember it? Free college for all American. I know he was doing free colleges for any migrants who were going to graduate college here. I did know he said he was going to do that, which is funny because people think he's like anti-migrant altogether, but he did say that. I'll look it up. Let me see. You said all college free for Trump. It does say, it says former president, it says both candidates has free college proposals in their plans. Let me see. It doesn't go into, he has concepts of a plan. It doesn't go into details about his plan, though. He doesn't outright say it. It's suggested. But I don't know, because Trump, let me see. Yeah, I don't see any quotes from him directly. I see people talking about it. Like, it says CEO of college free tuition talked about it on behalf of Trump. But I don't see Trump actually saying it. So when I don't see the person saying it, let me see. Let me read a couple of more articles so I can see. I don't see him saying it. I always go off of what the person says and not what, like, people are saying. So I can't give you that one. I fact checked it. I can't give you that one, buddy. All right, back to my notes. So that's a wait and see. That's a wait and see. We'll see, because it hasn't come out of his actual mouth. That's coming from like different pundits. So we'll see. I mean, that would be beautiful if he was, but like I said, working in college and in financial aid specifically, I actually am a financial aid counselor. Like, that's what I do for a living. And you have to do the FAFSA form, and there's so much red tape behind the new FAFSA form. And then a lot of the financial aid we don't have any control over it. Once it's submitted to the federal government, they go through it and they decide what information they need and what they're going to reject. And then the only power we have is something called PJs, which is basically looking and making sure that you can have like your own personal judgment, is what they call. And thank you for the follow, though. And based on the personal judgment, like on the information that you give us, we'll decide if you can qualify for a financial aid based on that. But even that's a whole review committee. But if you don't, I'll give you one example. I had a student whose dad refuses to do the FAFSA. Mom did the FAFSA, and they were divorced. So there's an exemption there. But even with the exemption of the dad being divorced, because the dad was still alive, the student was not considered homeless, and the father had filled out the tax form. So because he filled out the taxes, if he didn't do any taxes in the previous year, he could have gotten the exemption. But because the dad did the taxes in the previous year, the dad had to fill out the FAFSA. And without the dad's FAFSA, there was no way we can give the student any financial aid. So he ended up leaving the school and going to a local community college. You know, it was really, really sad because he really, really wanted to be at the school. So it's really hard already. So I can't imagine that they're going to allow those students for free. Then I have another example. There was a migrant student who came in, or immigrant student, I guess you would call it, legal immigrant, and they were cursed out by the They went down to get a passport and try to get the information. They were cursed out by the passport people, and they were told, like, you're not American, you don't deserve to go to college and all this stuff, and we just needed to fill out the forms. And the people at the passport center refused to fill out the forms. So racism runs rampant everywhere. And what he's going to go do, sue and then get booted out the country, because racism is inherent. And so he come back to our office crying and crying and crying about not being able to go to college because he couldn't get the passport, because he said the lady was being like rude to him as a migrant because she thought he was taking his resources. So it's going to be really, if it's already hard now, I can only imagine how bad it's going to be once Trump is in office. Like, for them to actually get their FAFSA completed, their financial aid completed on time with the different violations that come through, because we have to check those violations. They call verification. You have to check the verification and verify that all the information that they provided is accurate. And if they don't do that in a timely fashion, they cannot attend college. And not only that, some of them start attending classes before the verifications is done, and they have to pay that money back. That's when you get into the student loan debt and things like that. So in order to make colleges free, it would be really hard because you have to overhaul an entire system. And that's already like really, they just did that last year with the FAFSA that they created, the new FAFSA, and it went over like it was hell. It was hell, y'all. I'm telling you, I was there. It was hell. So neither here nor there. So let's move on. So Republicans, oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. Republicans were the grand old party, the party of Abraham Lincoln originally, and the Democrats were not the ones that supported Black Americans at first. So with the tides changing, things did shift. But that goes back to what you were saying, Michael. Bernie Sanders also said we need to stop measuring a person's IQ and start measuring their ambitions, because that would be a tell. And I thought that was so clever. He said because that would be a tell on how successful they'll be. Because if we just keep saying, oh, this person's smart, but they're doing stupid stuff, how smart are they really at the end of the day? Trump talked about wanting to take back the Pledge of Allegiance, because, you know, they used to say, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United. They used to say, under God. He wants to put God back in the school, he was saying. And he's saying he wants to add that back to the Pledge of Allegiance, which I thought was interesting because I haven't heard that take in so many years. And this brings me to this. You might not like this part. I'm about to bash him a little bit now. Well, what Kanye said, you know, racism's still alive. They just be concealing it. That's it. So this goes back to Tyson. So now Tyson, I personally feel like I knew he was going to lose that fight. Let me tell y'all, I think that was racist. You talk about racism? I think that was a racist fight, because to me, I wrote this. I said that message was to the black man that the white man will vote and be the final decision maker. Just like, because that fight was won by a unanimous decision of judges. And I said it was unanimous for Jake Paul, just like it will be unanimous for that 12-man jury to send your behinds to the big house. Okay? And I said, why they didn't put a young black man in there? Why they picked this 58-year-old black man? Because it was symbolism. And I said it was symbolism. They wanted the best to ever do it to be defeated by this young white man. Exactly. It was all cosplay. And that was but it was the imagery. It was symbolic. It was the young black white man is on top and the old black man is old news. That was the symbolicness of it. And because you have to watch that, especially right before Trump comes in. This was a grandiose defeat, right? And I said they didn't want their equals. They wanted the title. So now Jake Paul, or whatever his name is, he gets to go around and says that he's the best to ever do it. He gets to say he beat Tyson in the ring. If he wanted to beat somebody his own size, he could have picked Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, Jesse Rodriguez, Gerard Anderson, and Keyshawn Davis. I put all their names up, ages up here, 27 years old, 27-year-old, 23, 24, 25, and Jake Paul is only 27 years old and fought a 58-year-old man. And that's the bottom line, but it was symbolic because they made it this huge thing to defeat this old black man who's the best. It wasn't about him beating other old men. It was about him beating Mike Tyson. That is the king. And they wanted him to be defeated in this huge stage. It was a humiliation tactic, a humiliation ritual, like they could like to call them. And I looked it up. I asked AI about it because I was like, what is AI thing? So AI told me that Jake Paul is born on January 17, 1997. Is a social media personality and an amateur boxer. As of the last update, he has fought several different opponents from different backgrounds. Excuse me, but finding a specific opponent, they started to meet my criteria because I said name any challengers that could have been his age and his size and his same weight class that he could have battled. And it says notable fighters who are in his same weight and same class include fighters like J. Leon Love, Kendrick Lawson, and they also said Jake Paul also primarily fought influencers and mixed martial artists rather than traditional boxers. And so those are the people he usually fight, you know, like you said, influencers. But he could have fought J. Leon Love or Kendrick Lawson, but instead he fought the old man Mike Tyson. And so I didn't like any of that. Also, that hit, that smack that Mike Tyson did, we all know that Mike Tyson has these little queries because he was raised like a pit bull. Y'all remember that? He used to talk about his handler who would basically like say, get him, boy, and he would just go as a child. So he's been raised kind of like dog-like, like animalistic. So I think that stepping on the foot and the instant smack, he knew that was going to happen. And I think it was to show the animalistic traits of the black man. Money, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? That's how I see it. You can have all the money in the world, but Mike Tyson last night, he lost his soul, baby. He lost his soul. And you know he lost his soul because he came out saying all his news reports talking about, oh, I was sick, I was this, I was that, I was that. No, you lost your soul, baby, for $20 million. But you lost your soul. Like, it goes back to, and this, I can get real deep. I ain't even gonna go there. I was gonna go to the Bible and Moses and the snake, and I can get deep. But it doesn't matter how much money they gave him if he lost part of his soul, which was his title. He shouldn't have done that fight. And I could tell instantly he regretted the decision. Because all money, baby, ain't good money. All money is not good money. And so, yeah, I said they want the black man to be Bubba. Bubba from, I forgot the name of the movie, Forrest Gump. I said, and the lower class white man to be Lenny, like from Mouse and Men. And it's crazy that I wrote this. I wrote this before I saw that commercial with the aliens that I was telling y'all about. Where there was that Bubba in the woods, and it was the Lenny in the woods, and they were talking to the little alien saying he ate the Tostino pizza rolls. It was the stupidest commercial, but it was a message in that. It was the dumb black and the dumb white gonna come together finally and be a united against these aliens, illegal aliens. That's what it was all about. So I digress, but let me go back. I said they want women to be submissive and put back into their place. And so, I did talk about Amish. I said, and so do other white women. So think June from Handmaid's Tale. There are women that want women back in their places. How many times you go to church and there's that old lady looking at her skirt too short. She thinks she cute. Oh, she got too much makeup on. There's women like that don't want women to step outside of their place. So that is what you're going to see with the Trump campaign. You're going to be like, why are these women moving that way? Because they agree. They think that the woman's place is in the house too. And you even probably got a grandma like that, or an auntie like that, or great aunt like that, who just feel like, oh, you too, the woman's place is in the house too. And you even probably got a grandma like that, or an auntie like that, or great aunt like that, who just feel like, oh, you too fat. You're going to see that from time to time. Give me a second, guys. My thing is dying. I'll be right back. I'm back. My bad. He said, yeah, y'all know he lying. What man don't care about being the best? Kids respond better to both parents being in the house. But that's what, so, see, the thing is, nowadays, y'all listen to social media. I know exactly what you're talking. I seen that video. And they were saying, you know, the number one thing about a kid being happy in the house is having a mama. That's called conditioning. Kids need both their parents. And I can tell you, I have a child and I have a husband. And, like, at the end of the day, there are moments when my daughter, she gets to the point where she don't want to do nothing or listen. All my husband got to say, Mufasa. I don't know that. Y'all know how men are. All he got to do is boo boo boo, and she go like, and she'll go do whatever I just asked her to do. Even this morning, we were getting ready for school. No, I hear you. I think I'm better than my husband too. I think I'm the better parent. I totally agree with that. I'd say she came out of me. But there are moments where my husband, I don't know how to describe it, but I'll just be like this one. He's like, be quiet. He's like, don't say another word to me now. And he goes, when I leave the house, because he walked her to school. He's like, when I leave the house and she don't follow behind me, because she wouldn't put on her coat. I said, go put on your coat like 2-3 times. And she wouldn't. She just, la, 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 la. You know how kids are. So he said, don't say another word. He said, when I walk out this house and she does not follow behind me, she's going to stay home with you. And I was like, I just got quiet. Mm-hmm. And then he got himself together. He about to walk in the house. She ran so fast, put that coat on. And I didn't have to say a word. So, yes, moms are the most important in terms of, you came out of me, baby. You mine. But dads create that balance and that je ne sais quoi. So for me, I can never say, oh, a mom is just the most important thing ever. We need both. Because them kids around, wow, it's like Mufasa. Like, Simba needed Mufasa to show him the world and explore. But Simba needed to be greeted by his mother when he finally came back from manhood. Right? So it goes into, if even the lions, let's continue the lions. Beautiful, the whole village. That's the bottom line. I was going to go into the whole, I was going to go into all of the whole Mufasa thing. But that movie is deep, right? If y'all actually watch that movie, like really watch the original, not the new, it's so good. It's like has so many little tidbits and messaging. But, boy, you get me off topic. Let me get back on topic. Okay, so, because we almost finished. So I said, we talked about Lenny. We were talking about, y'all read of Mouse and Men. So Lenny of Mouse and Men, he was docile and meek, and but he was really strong. So he ended up doing something harmful to like one of his best friends, and it was really sad. And I think that's kind of the caricature of the white man we'll see in the future, that Lenny character, strong, stoic, but meek and mild-mannered. And then we'll see the character of Bubba Gump, who is extremely helpful, loving, docile, and meek black man. So those two images of white men in America and black men in America are going to be at the forefront. And the third image you'll see, I'm talking about male imagery. The third image you'll see is the caricature of the Donald Trump, which really won't be based on Donald. It'll be based on Barron Trump. So they'll be tall, stoic, handsome, educated, and super ambitious. So that is going to be the future of the imagery that we'll see in America coming forward. So just look out for it. I said it. Now go watch, because everything I say be coming true. I'm one of those people. Okay, so next up, I talked a little bit about... Oh, I wanted to thank you guys. I put a thank you in here. Isn't that interesting? So I put a thank you, and the reason I put the thank you is because the beauty of this page has kind of shook up my algorithm a little bit. And it's allowed, and I do this research for you guys because I want to be sitting home watching all this news for I do watch news, but not the way I watch it. I consume and research the news now. I go bipartisan, so I look at the most extreme, crazy, radical right stuff. And girl, boys, y'all, the way they be talking, and the same thing for the leftists. So I go far left as I possibly can reach, and I try to bring home the information like in the middle somewhere. Like I end up somewhere in the middle without trying to be biased. And that's why I say if it doesn't come from the candidate's mouth, I try not to report it, because the thing about the internet that I'm realizing, and I think that's why I wanted to thank you guys, is because you guys really opened my eyes with this research, because I'm realizing how caught up in the algorithm I was, and you probably are too. So if you want to get out of it and shake your algorithm up a little bit, do what I'm doing. Go as far left as you can. Research the craziest thing. Research, I love transgenders and they're the best and I want them to take over the world. And then go research the complete opposite. Oh, I don't want them touching my kids. I want them, the worst thing you can think about. And you'll find yourself in the middle. You'll find information that really strikes true, because that's where the truth lies, somewhere in the middle, right? And I just want to thank you guys for opening me up, taking away a lot of biases I have for the Republican Party, taking away a lot of biases I have for the Democratic Party, and just helping me see humanity as a whole again. And just kind of feeling, just seeing also, like, I feel like when I first came up here, I was really nervous, really shaky, really insecure. So the fact that I've been getting so much love and feedback from my people on TikTok, I just really appreciate it. You guys got me to over 1,000, probably like 1,500 followers in less than a couple of months. And a lot of people don't do that on TikTok. They just come on here and they just dissipate. So the fact that I'm getting this love, and I really feel reassured every single week that I come up here. And I just thank you guys, really, 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 truly, really, truly. So, all right, I have one more thing, and I think that's it. Let's see. This is a quick one. I'm usually over by like 3 on the dot. We talked about AOC earlier, so I'm not going to go back over that. Oh, somebody said this. I love this. I think I said this earlier. It says, it doesn't matter if Trump is lying. They say he's lying for you. Harris never mentioned the trans thing. Every 10 seconds Trump did. It said Trump told the people Harris is for they, them, she, and her, and Trump is for you. Bar, right? If you say that over and over, you're going to win. If they say Harris is for they, them, she, her, and Trump is for you, that is what sold the election. That is, if that's not a hot line, I never heard one. That is a hot line. So when I heard that, I said it just all clicked for me. Trump is for you. Trump, that was the messaging. So of course, people felt safety in his arms, so to speak. Them speak on terms. Okay, I put that. I said, personally, I feel like Democrats speak on terms and concepts, and not in that second person, like that you, that us, that we. They speak into the country, the world. We are not. No, you need to say you ain't going back. Not we not going back, because they don't think like that. People don't think, people are individualistic. And that's what Trump tapped into, the not the I and the you. Kamala was all about the we and the us. So that language right there is what, pushed Trump over. Like over, meaning he got over 300 electoral votes. You've never seen that really in history, right? And it says, people aren't reading. DACA deportation. This is the last thing I got, y'all. So this one is a big one. And this one, I'm torn. And again, this is one of those things where I went way left and way right. So I can give you both opinions. The way left are saying that they've been here in this country. In 2012, Barack Obama decided to make them legal residents here, essentially, where they weren't legal residents, but they couldn't get deported for being here. So DACA, if you don't know, they're called the Dreamers of America. I forgot the exact name. Let me see. Anyway, it's the Dream Act. I'm not going to go into it. But the DACAs are the dreamers. They are the people whose parents came here as immigrants. They've lived here. They brought him over here as children. They were valedictorians in their schools. They contributed to society in such a positive way that at this point in their life as adults, it would be cruel and harsh punishment. That's what they said in 2012 for them now to be deported, since they've been law-abiding, productive citizens in America, productive immigrants in America. We got to be careful with that. So because of that, Obama said, well, y'all are great. You don't have to leave, and created all these acts. Even now, I told you in financial aid, there are acts that we have to give and provide DACA certain scholarships and awards and grants and things like that, so they can go through the system of school. There's like a lot of special interest programs for DACA. Trump is coming in and cleaning all that up. He said, got to go. It ain't happening. So that's the right? The right is, so DACA is basically saying, look, we've done everything we're supposed to do. We were valedictorians in our school. We were law-abiding citizens. We've done everything right. The right. They say, we don't care about none of that. They said, you got to go. And they basically say, you don't belong here. Your mama came in illegally. Sorry she brought you as a baby. Maybe you was a baby. Maybe you was 2 years old. I don't care what age you came in. This is not your country because you never was supposed to be here in the first place. And if you were here since you were 2 years old, why didn't you go do the citizenship to try to get it properly documented that you were here? You had plenty of time. So they feel like that's why they don't want them here. So here's me twerking on the fence. This is the middle. So now DACA people are saying they're taking their things into their own hand. They're saying, screw America, essentially. They're saying, they're at the point where they're saying, we're going to self-deport. Because America has not, motherfuckers never loved us. Y'all remember that song? That's what they're saying. Y'all never loved us in the first place. So why are we going to continue to sit in this country that does not love us the way we love it, even though we gave our entire lives to it? And so we're out of here. So they are leaving. That's the middleman, right? So we went right, we went left. The middle is they're leaving themselves. They said, don't bother with us. They said this 2012 thing, there was a bunch of promises that Obama had, and nobody kept it. After Obama left, Trump didn't care. And then Joe Biden, he just does not care. He's so busy with trying to get people from Ukraine and pay these wars and this and that. He's doing everything but the right thing. So they're basically like, we're over it. We want no parts of it. And we're sick of your country and we're leaving. And the right people are like, good riddance. And the Democrats are saying, no, wait. We can take care of this. And now this is where we're going to end. And so the people who are on that on that left that are saying, oh, wait, we're going to take care of this. Guess what's going to happen to them? Those people, Trump says that the DACA people overreached, and that was an illegal proposal in law that was enacted. And he said anyone that continues to force DACA is going to jail. And that's where the cookie crumbles. That's where we are now. He said if y'all are supporting that DACA Act, which he felt like Obama overreached his power as the president of the United States, he was not should not have done that. And you continue to support it. And so there are the senators in Michigan, senators in New York City who are supporting this DACA movement, of course, like AOC, because that's the bulk of her people. And he's saying, if I hear any of y'all continuing that rhetoric, and if I even hear any of y'all talking about continuing the DACA, you going to jail. And he's saying he will send his senators to jail for supporting DACA. So basically, I can say we can effectively, immediately, DACA is over. So if you are a DACA immigrant, you have to really decide how the future holds for you. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know if you got to go find you an American citizen to marry. I don't know if you can get a visa, a work visa to stay. Whatever, you got to clean up. If you are on my live and you are a DACA person, you better go clean it up. Go get an immigration lawyer right now, because Trump is saying it's going down. It's going down. He said you're out of here. Okay, so I thought this was funny. I guess I'll end it here because I thought this was just funny. And I thought he was gone and dead. Dick Van Dyke, y'all. Y'all know him? 98-year-old Dick Van Dyke from back in the, like, childhood. He is so funny. He said the best thing about him being 98 years old is that he will not be around to see the BS. He said, I ain't gonna be here for bullshit. He said, I'm out of here. That's what Dick Van Dyke said. He said, thank God I am 98 years old. And more power to you, because this is about to be, I know I'm gonna be minding my business. I'm gonna be raising my child, going to work every day. I ain't gonna be bothered. I'm gonna be on my best. Y'all better be on your best behavior for the next 4 years. Because this man, he out here every day. And I've been watching this stuff. He have his team. Oh, did I show y'all the team? I showed y'all the team last week. Y'all want to go over it one more time? I showed y'all the team, though. I ain't gonna show y'all everybody because I already closed out that blog. That was last week. But I think I still have some of the pictures. I have some of the ladies left because I was gonna post them on TikTok. So these are some of the ladies, but I did delete most of the men. Because I was gonna say these are his women in the cabinet. So that's one. So this was the one who helped him win. This is his ace boy. She's a Jersey girl like me. So if you know anything about Jersey girls, we don't play. We don't die. We vote for. We baby kids. So she ain't no joke. She is the one. She one of them ladies that if a police officer come to her and try to play with her, she be like, I know your mother. Do you know who I am? She one of them. So y'all better be scared. Be afraid. Look at that lady. She cooked biscuits and put blood in them. She don't, and raisins. She don't play. So this is his ace boon. This is the reason he won. Her name is, y'all should look her up and see everything. She worked with DeSantis, and she can't stand DeSantis, y'all. She said DeSantis was the worst candidate she ever worked with in her life. So her name is Susie Wiles, and she is a bad mama jamma. She is a kingmaker. That's what they call her. And she don't play. So look out for this little lady. Y'all see her? She mean business. Okay. So this is Lyndon McMahon from WWE. Wasn't you talking about WWE, Michael? This is her. So I guess it is fake. It's all fake. It's gonna be when I tell you it's gonna be a show, and she's gonna be the commerce secretary. This is gonna be fun, y'all. So yeah, so that's Ed McMahon's wife. That's Ed McMahon's wife. She gonna be in our cabinet. It's gonna be. And I don't know much about her, but this is Elise Stefanik. Hold on, they cut me off. They're cutting me off. Time to go. Let's see. Okay, and this is Elise Stefanik. So I don't know much about her, but she's another woman in the cabinet. She's going to be offered the U.S. ambassador for the United Nations, which I just was reading about the United Nations and Kenya and their correlation and connection there. The one of the U.S. ambassadors just stepped down because she was like, Trump is coming in, and I know I'm not his kind of girl, so I'm out of here. So y'all should look that up. That's on. Y'all should Google that. That was a whole. If you like politics, y'all gonna love that read. That was something else. U.S. ambassador steps down from Kenya. Okay. And then this is Kristi Noem. What is DHS? Division of Housing Security? I don't know. DHS. She's going to do DHS. And then that's it. So those are so far the female cabinet members. I think there's going to be a lot more, a lot more picks coming around. I know he has a whole, every day there's somebody new. Mike Huckabee is going to be working for I think he's going to be overseeing Israel. And I told you guys last week that he said it'll be beachfront property by next week. This is real life, y'all. Beachfront property by next week. Cold-blooded. And the reason y'all see so much joy and y'all don't see me being angry and upset and are you for Trump or are you for... I'm for America. And I did vote for Kamala, like I told y'all. But at the end of the day, I told y'all I had a feeling she was going to lose. And so I'm not really disappointed or upset. I'm right. I knew what was going to happen. I predicted it, just like I predicted in 2016 that Trump was going to win. I knew it then, and I know it now. And so, and the reason I knew it, I didn't come up with that. I didn't originally think that Trump was going to win. I was shocked too. But I went to visit my husband's family in another country, and we were hanging, and his aunt told me, just look. She's like, look at the trajectory of, and now I'm off script, y'all, because I'm finished all my news. Thank you guys. Finished all my news. Thank you. That was fun, right? Okay. And I guess I'll do my outro just in case I post this later on YouTube, which I usually do. I usually post all my lives on there. So I say, thank you guys for joining me today. Make sure you maintain your morals, your values, and your principle. And I appreciate you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. Okay, so now I got that out the way. So let's get into the juiciness of it. So yeah, in 2016, I was talking to my husband's aunt, and we were it was like July, and we were all thinking that, was it Biden was gonna win? I think who did Trump go against? Clinton, Hillary Clinton. And I think we all at that point thought she was gonna be the first white female, because that's the idea. Like, if you're gonna have a female president in America, she's more than likely gonna be a white woman before it would be a black woman. I already thought that in 2016, just because how y'all seen that my last meme was like, America's racist. I already knew that. So I wasn't surprised. So when she was telling me that, she's like, no, Clinton is not going to win. I said, what? She said, yes, she going to lose. I said, why you said it? She said, look at the trajectory of the world. She said, look what's happening in the Philippines. Look at their dictator. She said, look at that little look-alike of Donald Trump in Europe, in Britain, I believe. Re-exit, that was around that time, that guy who did that. She's like, look at the leaders in China. She's like, look at Putin. She said, right now, she said, look at North Korea. She said, right now is the time for brutality. She's like, every country has picked the most extremely conservative and brutal dictator. She's like, so it would not make sense for us to be that progressive in America. Now, she's an outsider looking in because she's not from America. I'm in a different country. I'm having this conversation in another country because all the news I was seeing was saying Clinton, breaking ceilings. So when I got to another country and she's like, no, look at the news. Her news was different than our news, bro. Like, completely different. And they were super pro-Trump. And this is, again, what led to the original concept of me looking at separate ends. Like, I was already doing that a little bit, but this page is like kind of made an obsession, which I appreciate. I love being obsessed with politics. So I knew then, and I said no. I said she has to win. She's gonna. I was like I'm in Jersey. Well, at that time I was working in New York City. So as I'm working in New York City every day, I see Clinton everywhere. Clinton this, because that's her city. You feel me? So when I'm going on my train, you see commutes, you see flyers of her on the train, you see people with Clinton things on their shirts. So for me, it never was anybody else until that summer. And she's just like, so she turned on the news and she goes, look. And I say, oh, you're right. And she's like showing me, like, oh, what is the guy? When she showed me this guy from the Philippines, I visited the Philippines too. It's such a lovely, lovely, lovely place. I recommend it, like 10 out of 10. I don't know if he's still in power, but you guys will remember this guy. And Filipino, 2016. I don't know who's in there now. It was this guy. I don't know if he's still around. Let's see. No, he left in 2022. But there was this guy. Y'all remember him? You cannot not remember. He was running amok over in the Philippines. And she said they voted for him. And he got voted in June 2016. So I went there, I said like July. So a month later, he had just won at the time. She said the fact that he won and he's a brutal dictator, she said Trump is going to win. So I came back to America and I'm talking to my American friends and I'm telling them about this guy, Rodrigo Duterte. How do you pronounce his name? Let's see. Duterte?
Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Duterte. So Rodrigo Roa Duterte. When I seen Duterte and he had already just won, I said, oh, by golly, geez, Trump is winning. So I go back to work. Now, at this time, I wasn't working in higher education. I was working still in education, but I was working... Where was I working? In international education. So I was working with students who were going to study abroad. That's how I got to go to the Philippines, because I did an orientation over there as a ambassador, where I took the kids to acclimate to the country, the American kids. I think I took the Filipino kids back home from America. And so I was acclimating them there and trying to get them used to the culture, because sometimes when they re-enter their countries, which are strict regimes, they wow, because they're coming from America, right? So they've been spending a year or plus in America. So a lot of them forget, because they're young, they forget who they actually are. That you can't play like that when you get back home to your country. So my job was to say, hold on, chill out, don't come back home acting up, because you're not American for real. You are Filipino. So remember your values and your modesty. So that's kind of how you orient the kids back then. So now, when I found out he won, I came back to my job, who was very liberal, because, you know, if you work in that kind of lifestyle when you're trying to bring the world together, usually people are liberal. They were like, no way, Trump will win. I said, yes, he's winning. He thought I was crazy. They thought I was racist. I was called every name in the book when I came back home saying Trump was going to win. Lo and behold, November 6th, 2016, everybody was like, Rosalind was right. Oh my God, I can't believe it. You were right. And I said, I told y'all. And so I knew, and that's how I felt about this election. As much as I like, to me, I cried. Y'all, if y'all were on my live that night, I cried when I found out she lost. And I didn't even know why, because I wasn't even connected to her in that way. Like, I was not connected. But to me, and I know y'all say she wasn't black and this and that, but to me, she was. She was the closest I ever seen to she was my complexion. We the same complexion. We both have the same face. We both have the same eyes. Y'all know that song. So to me, she was a black girl. And to me, I felt I didn't even know I was that connected to her until she lost. And she did her concession speech, and it just flowed out of me. And it was my daughter. My daughter said, so the black girl didn't win? And then I started crying. She said, oh, so the white man won, the black girl didn't win? I said, no, the black girl didn't win. And she said, but I'm going to win one day. I said, you're going to win one day. So that's what brought me to tears. It wasn't necessarily like that she lost. I already told you I knew she was going to lose. It was go back to the Tyson thing, right? And why Tyson lost to Jake, whatever his name is. It was the symbolism and the representation of who she represented to me and my daughter. That's what I cried for. And I think I came to the conclusion that this woman had worked at every branch of government. This woman was a career-long professional. And this TV show guy won over her, not qualified at all. He didn't even know what he was doing. Now he's qualified. He done ran, but it was like he's the least qualified guy on paper, right? And for him to win the job over someone so qualified, I think every black woman in America felt that pain before, when we are the most qualified on paper in the room, but we can't get the promotion, and they hire dippity do because she know somebody. Like, I'll give you an example. When I left my job, this white girl came up to me and was like, wherever you go, ask for double your worth. Because the new girl they hired, this little white girl they hired, is getting $20,000 more than you was getting. And I had my degree. And they didn't have their degree. Because they daddy knew my boss daddy. And that's what we black women, and we deal with. Like, we not in the country clubs. We not growing up with y'all. So a lot of us, we literally get it from the mud. Like, we got all these badges and degrees, and we work so hard. We in so much debt for our degrees to be the smartest. We're the most educated. We have the most businesses, but we are one of the poorest groups. Why is that? Because when we tried to create capital and angel funding for ourselves, guess what happened? They sued us. They sued the woman who created a business so that she can give capital to black women, because we are the least funded. Because when we put our idea next to a white girl's idea, guess who's going to get the angel investor? The white girl. And you're not supposed to say that on TikTok. The white. You can't say that word. You can say black. I can say ninja all day, but I can't say white. That type of stuff. That's why I ain't even going to be posting on here too much. But neither here nor there. That fear of, like, being the best you can be and still not being able to be good enough for whatever the status quo is the thing that I think is always going to be a chip on a black woman's shoulder. And until we do right by us, nothing can come good to this country. Y'all stole our babies. We will never forget it. Y'all separated mothers from their children. We will never forget it. We had a Sophie's Choice every day. Sophie had to choose one time. Sophie had a choice. Okay. All right. I think I'm done. I think I done said enough now. I think my mama say, you know, stayed too long, went too far. So I think I done stayed too long and went too far. But Yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt, y'all. But we stand up. We will be better, you know, in the future, and we have to respect the incoming president. And I always stand by that. I told y'all my dad is military, so he don't play like that. He really always taught me that he fought for me to be a part of this country, so I am a true American. I'm more American than a lot of y'all. That's what my dad used to say, because he fought for me to be here. And because of that honor that I wear in this country, because of the honor my dad had for the country, I will always respect the current and the future president of the United States of America. And if that is Donald J. Trump, which it is at this point, then he will get the same respect that I would give any other president of the United States of America, because I respect my country. I respect democracy. And I want y'all to do that too. I don't want to get crazy. I don't want us to know January 6th. No, we have to accept the lives that we're about to lead in the next 4 years. And I just say, whatever you could do to keep your peace in these next 4 years, do that. Oh, speaking of, I got one more thing. Did y'all see this? I think I posted that on my page just now before this, because I was going to do a live on my YouTube, but I couldn't activate it. So y'all see this? A cruise line is currently offering a 4-year trip for Americans who want to skip Trump's second term. Who going on that cruise? Y'all going? Nah, I'll be here. I ain't leaving my country. I'm a Jersey girl. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me today at this live. You know I always love you guys. I love you, and appreciate you. Until next time, I see you guys next week. If I still can't access my YouTube, that's it. Because this is my really farewell to TikTok. Really, truly. Because TikTok has not been treating me right. Y'all been treating me right. But the algorithm has not. So if you love me, go subscribe over at YouTube, because eventually I'm trying to get at least 50 followers over there so I can start going live. I do go live on my other page, Give This Girl a Mic, every Monday, but that's a whole different, we ain't even talk about politics. We talk about pop culture only. Over here, we talk political pop. So, all right, girls and guys, I'll talk to you next time. Thank you guys. Take care and have a good night. Bye.